Hi guys, I'm the Dutch Movie Guy, and today I'm reviewing this book simply called Thrawn. Thrawn is the latest novel to come out in the current Star Wars canon. It is once again written by Timothy Zahn, who also wrote the Old Legends books, most known for the Thrawn trilogy, Heir of the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command. The first books that Timothy Zahn ever wrote were, as I just mentioned, the Thrawn trilogy, and are very famous. If you haven't heard of it, look up what they are, because they are some of the best written books in Star Wars ever. The thing is that I actually read one of those, Heir of the Empire. I have a review up for that. If you want to see what I think about the first one, click the link in the description. And the thing is, I plan to also go through the other two before this book came out. I just didn't find the time. And I also got this one extremely early, so I kind of had planned to get through the other two perhaps before it actually came out, but then I got this one really early and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pass up on that. I'm just going to get through this one then. Because the thing is, I don't know why, I'm very happy about it. The Dutch site where I ordered my books by accident sent out the copies for Thrawn early to everyone. I've heard from other people who also ordered it early that they had it already in the Netherlands as well. So thank you, whoever made that decision. I'm so grateful. I honestly am, because it's awesome. This way I got my Thrawn novel early. I could review it early, and that helps me. So that's great. Love you. So the thing about the Thrawn novel was this was very much anticipated for, I believe, everyone, including me, of course. I had read Heir of the Empire. I knew how great that book was. I knew how well Timothy Zahn could write Star Wars. So knowing that, I was like, yeah, he will probably do a good job with this one. The question is, will it live up to expectations, or will there be some issues? Well, this one lives up to every single expectation I could ever have hoped for. Look, the thing is, I'm going to go into a little bit plot details, really teeny minor spoilers that you should know already. However, if you just want to know if this book is any good, I will tell you, this is my favorite Canon novel. This is a perfect score. That's what you need to know. If you want to know why, I'll get into that, of course, in a little bit. But the thing is, you need to know, this is amazing. This book is phenomenal in every way. I absolutely loved it. So that's just for the people who need to know that. So the thing about this Thrawn book is that this is the first book that Timothy Zahn wrote, which is canon. Legends versus canon. Legends is everything that came out before 2014. And Disney, when Disney bought it in 2012, was like, yeah, there are too many things contradicting each other. We're going to scrap everything that we had before that, and we're just going to introduce a new timeline from 2014 onward. And some people don't like that. I'm okay with it. I mean, yes, there were some amazing stories in Legends, but there were also crap stories in Legends. And the thing is, it contradicted too much, and for me, who really does like continuity, I'm really liking the direction that they're taking now, because everything is in continuity with each other. And this book is in continuity with Rebels, because we were introduced to Grand Admiral Thrawn last year at Celebration. He popped up in the trailer at Celebration for Rebel Season 3. Everyone lost their minds. Oh my god, we're getting Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars back again. And then also with that came the announcement that Timothy Zahn was going to write a book about that. And he was going to write the book of everything that happened with Thrawn before he entered Rebels. Because when we get introduced to him in Rebel Season 3, he is already the Grand Admiral. This book is about how he got to that part. It's about him just starting off as Thrawn in the Imperial Navy and then working his way up to becoming the Grand Admiral, which is fascinating to say the least. And the thing was, when I started reading this book, I was really liking this book. I definitely was. However, there was a little thing that I was not really sure about, which was, when does this book take place? Because the only thing of a hint I had at the beginning somewhere was the mention of Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, if you know what happens in the book Tarkin, then you know that is the book that makes Tarkin the Grand Moff Tarkin, the same way that this book makes Thrawn the Grand Admiral Thrawn. So the thing is, it takes place after Tarkin, which is 14 BBY. 14 years before the Battle of Endor, 5 years after the rise of the Galactic Empire in Revenge of the Sith. So it was somewhere after that, and it was of course before his introduction in Rebels, which is season 3, 2 years BBY. So at that point I was like, it could take place anywhere between 14 and 2, so that's a 12-year gap. That's kind of a big gap. At one point though, you get to the point where Rebels starts. The first season of Rebels, which is 5 BBY, and then I was like, wait, if we are here now, and I just got to mention somewhere that it was 3 years before that that it all started, that means it starts 8 or 9 BBY. I'm not 100% sure, but it starts 8 or 9 BBY, which is 10 or 11 years after the rise of the Galactic Empire and Revenge of the Sith. So somewhere there, I was like, oh, that makes sense, because it actually follows up A New Dawn. Like, A New Dawn is 11 BBY, and that means that right after that you can start with Thrawn, and that also means that A New Dawn and Thrawn, both of those really lead into Rebels well, and is a very good prequel to it. So I definitely recommend reading both of those if you want to get a little bit more out of your Rebels, because this book not only ties in with Thrawn, it ties in some other characters. One of the major characters in this book that it also follows, that it also sets up, Governor Pryce from Lothal. She is, in this book, very prominently actually, was not really expecting her, but it makes sense, because Governor Pryce is the one who goes to Grand Moff Tarkin in Rebel Season 1 saying, I need someone who sees a bigger picture. That's because she knows who Thrawn is. That's the thing. They have a few encounters in this book. They are actually kind of friends, and it's like, oh, they know each other, so it makes sense that Pryce would say, okay, Constantine is doing a shit job at what he's doing. I need Thrawn for this job, because that's what happens in Rebels. So that's where it's going. However, the thing is, even though I knew where it's going, this book still had me from start to finish. The moment it started, it just gripped me, and it was perfect in every single way that I wanted. Because simply put, Timothy Zahn can do no wrong. He has written the Thrawn trilogy, and he's done it again. He made a perfect trilogy before. I know I haven't read the other books, but I'll take the word of other people based on what I've heard, because I absolutely loved Area of the Empire, and I assume that Dark Force Rising and Last Command are as great as the first one, or at least similar to it. Like, it's there, it's up there with some of the best novels in Star Wars ever, and this is also up there. This book once again shows that Timothy Zahn knows how to write Star Wars. He knows how to write characters in Star Wars, especially Grand Admiral Thrawn. And I also kind of think that he wanted to tell this story, because this is a prequel to Thrawn. We have not even in Legends known about his history. We've only heard mentions, because everything that we knew about Thrawn took place in the time period after he already became the Grand Admiral. This is how he became that, and I think that Timothy Zahn had a blast writing this, because this was what he wanted to write about that, and the way he did it, I think, as I said, is perfect. What I also thought was a great addition to this book was a man named Eli Vanto. Eli Vanto gets introduced at the very beginning of this book and is a help to Thrawn at the beginning, because at the beginning Thrawn is not really speaking basic all that well. He needs a translator. Eli Vanto can translate for him, so it's like, okay, we set you up with him, and Eli is essentially the guy who you can relate to. Like, Eli is you and me, is anyone, and that was really helpful, because Thrawn, while made very relatable in this book already, still is a little weird in some ways and is not the relatable man, and Eli Vanto was. Eli Vanto is your everyday guy who could just be someone in the Imperial Army that you could be, and you could just happen to run into Thrawn, and it's like, oh, and now I have to be an 8. And throughout the book, Eli is the relatable character, and that was really smart, I think. A really smart decision to make this story more relatable than I ever expected. So that was an amazing addition, I thought. And besides Governor Pryce and Eli Vanto, I won't say anything more about characters that pop up, but there are quite some characters that pop up in this book of the Empire that you know and love, and it's perfect, and it's awesome, and I loved it, and it was just everything I wanted and more. So, that was great. I won't say anything else, but there are some dialogue parts between Thrawn and some of the Imperials that you're like, oh my god, Thrawn is talking to that guy in the Empire. I've never had that before in Star Wars. I'm now getting it. This is awesome! Yeah, that. What I also thought was really cool as an addition to this book is we know Thrawn is a master tactician, and to understand a master tactician like Thrawn, you sometimes have to get inside his head. And they do that throughout the book. Every chapter opens with a little opening monologue that is basically what Thrawn is thinking about a certain event that relates to the next chapter. So every single time you start a chapter, you get an opening part, and that gives you a little bit of insight into Thrawn's thought process, and just the way that every time it was starting like that. And a lot of times throughout the book that Thrawn interacts with people, you will see italic writing instead of normal writing, and usually when there's italic writing, that is when somebody thinks, and you really see how Thrawn is observing everyone, like how is someone's stance or the way that they talk. Is there anything suspicious about it? Can I get something out of this? And you really see how Thrawn becomes the one that you know is a master tactician, loves his art and whatnot. It was just perfect to see that, because this is absolutely the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn that we've been waiting for. And Rebels already could do a bit of that, but this book just made that everything you would have wanted and more. I think that's really all I can say about the Thrawn novel. It was everything I wanted and more. So yeah, this, as I said, it's a perfect score. But on the record, Thrawn gets a 10 out of 10 from me. I don't usually give 10s, but my god, this was a 10. This was a perfect 10. This deserves everything it had coming. It's like, please, guys, get this book ASAP. This is my favorite canon novel so far. Previously, that was Bloodline, or maybe Lost Stars. Like, I had Bloodline and Lost Stars neck and neck. Really, the only reason that I gave Bloodline the edge is because that was the one that introduced me into canon. But I still had a few minor issues with Bloodline where I didn't have any issues with Thrawn. Thrawn is perfect. That's it. Anyway, now that I'm done with my review, I have a few questions. Because first of all, this book is not out yet for at least another week. So I can't really ask what you think of it because most people haven't read it. However, I do wonder, did this review make you hyped? Did this review make you want to go, oh, I need to read this book right now? Please let me know that in the comments below. Second of all, if you have read it in 1 week, come back to this video. You know, 1 week from now, you will have read this book. You will have your opinion on it. And I wonder, what do you think of it then? So please come back in 1 week or something, saying what you think. Because I do want to know what other people think of it after I have given my opinion. And what I also do wonder is there anything I missed in this review that you want me to talk about in like a spoiler review? I will consider doing a spoiler review if enough people are like, yes, I do want a spoiler review, because I need a little bit more. So please, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, I have reviewed every single episode of Season 3 of Rebels, which means I review all the episodes that Thrawn is in. I give my thoughts on what I thought about Thrawn before reading the book, of course. Please check that out, because that will also give you an insight what I already think about Thrawn in Rebels and what I think about him in this book. So please check that out. And as always, if you've liked my review and you want to see more of my movie, trailer, and Star Wars reviews, click right here.